abrupt end, and now we've got the noise and the power and the splash as they head away from Temple Island. You can see on the back station there, Oxford Brookes University focused, trying to get away from Temple Island as fast as possible. And, well, it's pretty even, as you'd expect at this level on a Sunday at Henley Royal Regatta. There's never going to be much in it between the two boats, but Harvard University, Oxford Brookes University, pretty much neck and neck.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to see what this Harvard crew can do. They've been a lightweight crew all season, Tim, which means that they've been weight capped. They've been racing on the American circuit unbeaten, and now facing the giants of Oxford Brookes. They overturned heavyweight competition in Neuhaus yesterday, we said previous winners of the Temple, into a headwind, which historically for lightweights, very tricky and challenging to push against. And look at them here, striding away from Oxford Brookes. They're going to feel some confidence here when yesterday their big push was down by the half mile, so they're going early.
So Harvard University, a flyer there in the first few hundred metres of the race, just nicking a slender lead at this stage. But Anya Cheng, the cox in the Harvard boat, will be aware. And look, there's another response immediately from Oxford Brookes University. So that lead was pretty short-lived for Harvard. That's the sort of race we've got on our hands here. Now,
Oxford Brookes, the experts here at keeping crews in check, but we're looking here into the eyes of Harvard University's Benjamin Lundy, one of those who has been unbeaten, ahead of the Charles winner, a junior worlds contestant for the American team, for the British team, my apologies, and leading his men down the track.
Well, just looking at the direction they're being led down the track, because Harvard University are drifting into central waters there. We've got Oxford Brookes University on the buck station to the left of your picture. They're sitting in a really good spot. The umpire's happy enough at this stage. Let's have a look at the Brookes boat, shall we? David Knapp, the cox. You've got Maximilian Pianta in that stroke seat. Back in the bow seat, Harry Fisher. They're all very early 20s. Young athletes are doing their thing here on the biggest stage.
Well, one of the things about this Oxford Brookes crew, they've not been a unit for the whole season at the British University Championships. The crew has changed since then. They came 5th on that occasion. They've had a bit of a shake-up, as the Brookes crews often do, to find that fastest combination. But they believe this crew is the fastest student-eligible crew they can field. But look at this, Harvard moving out now, who similarly, I've heard, Tim, have also had a bit of a shake-up from their unbeaten and IRA-winning lineup in the lightweight men's eights.
And there they are, that Harvard boat moving very effectively. I'm just looking at the line they're on. They don't want to come any further across the water than that, but at the moment everyone's happy, and they are moving really sweetly down the water here, aren't they? Good length advantage, midpoint of the race.
And this was the point yesterday that they really broke Neuhaus, was as we came through the half-mile past Remington Farm. This was the point they really started to close the door, but Oxford Brookes will not be turned easily. And look at this, they've still got that cling on, they've still got that overlap.
I think they heard you, Camilla, because look, they're just nipping back into it. As you were saying, they won't be turned easily. They just have put their pedal to the metal there, and they've tried to eat back into that margin, that lead. There's a bit of pain on the faces of the Oxford Brookes boat. You're looking at the very experienced Richard Halls in that 6th seat. Camilla, you were keeping an eye on that?
Yeah, he was grimacing quite a bit there, and they are going to have to continue to grimace, because this is really unexpected, I would say, for Brookes to be down in the final of a Temple Challenge Cup when they're contesting it. Unheard of, especially to opposition like the Harvard lightweights, who are just absolutely tenacious in trying to keep that unbeaten streak intact, and they're doing a very good job of it here. It's also a big day for a lot of the Harvard crew. I know that Jack Duggan's in the 3 seat there of Harvard. His father, Patrick Duggan, will be coaching the Radley First Eight later on today in the Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup. So a big day in the Duggan household for Henley finals. And look at this, Oxford Brookes having to throw everything they've got here as they start to wind the rating through the enclosures.
You're certainly not writing off Oxford Brookes University as they move in front of Stewards enclosure. There's grimacing on the faces maybe, but Oxford Brookes are not beaten yet because they are very tight, hot on the heels of Harvard University, who have been so impressive throughout the race here, all the way down the track. Harvard University have bossed it. Have they got enough to hold on? Oxford Brookes University know the tradition, know what's expected. They'll be feeling the pressure here.
The last time that Harvard University won the Temple Challenge Cup was in 2002, 23 years ago, and I don't think Oxford Brookes have got enough water left here as we come in front of the stewards' enclosure. 3/4 of a length to the Harvard Lighties. I think they've done it, Tim.
Harvard University, a few more strokes for them, and for the first time since 2002, they could seal the Temple. Not too far to go now. It'll be hurting. They've been pushed all the way, as you'd expect, by a powerful Oxford Brookes University boat, but it's Harvard University for the first time in 23 years who seal the Temple Challenge Cup. And that is what it means to them. The celebrations can continue. They'll continue long into the night, I'm sure. Jack Duggan, you mentioned Camilla. He's the one on his feet. Good balance from him, celebrating, good energy levels as well. Absolute jubilation in that boat, and you contrast it with Oxford Brookes University. A solemn moment for them in that boat.